My cousin lied and said I ruined her wedding photos. So I sent the unedited shots to her photographer, and the truth came out. Now her in-laws are threatening to sue, and she's blaming me for everything. I'm Lexi, 28, female, and I swear I didn't mean to destroy my cousin's life. But if I could go back, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't change a damn thing. Let me start with the basics. Olivia is 31, female, my cousin on my dad's side. We were close growing up. Not like sisters exactly, but she was always in the spotlight and I was always happy to be the sidekick. She was the golden girl, captain of the cheer team, perfect GPA, endless stream of boyfriends who looked like they came out of an Abercrombie catalog. I was artsy, weird, the one taking pictures in the background while she posed. That dynamic never really changed. She got married this spring. Big, over-the-top vineyard wedding in California. Custom dress, ice sculpture, drones for the first kiss. You get the idea. I wasn't just a guest. I was one of the photographers. Not the main one, but backup. She said she wanted someone she could trust to get all the behind-the-scenes shots. No pressure, right? Thing is, I do photography full-time. I've shot engagements, elopements, commercial gigs. It's not just a hobby. Olivia knows this. But during her planning, she made it sound like she was doing me a favor. "This'll be great exposure for your little business," she said. My little business. Never mind the fact that she wouldn't be paying me a dime. I said yes anyway, because I'm a dumbass. Because I thought maybe, just maybe, she actually valued my work, or me. The day of the wedding, I did what I always do. I worked my ass off. I stayed out of the main photographer's way, captured all the moments she couldn't. Bridesmaids getting ready, groomsmen shotgunning beers, her grandma fixing her veil. I got the real stuff. Emotional, raw, beautiful, if I'm being honest. And everything seemed fine, until 2 weeks later. I get a text from Olivia. 3 words. "We need to talk." No emojis, no follow-up. I call her, heart pounding, and she answers already in tears. "Lexi, I'm so disappointed in you. I thought something happened to the photos. Maybe my SD card got corrupted or I missed something important. But no, she accuses me, of ruining her wedding album. She says her photographer won't give her the full gallery because my bad shots made her look unflattering and ruined the vibe. She claims the main photographer blamed me for interrupting shots, getting in the frame, and messing with lighting. Except none of that happened. I was careful, invisible. I know the dance. I didn't even touch the flash. But Olivia's sobbing, telling me her in-laws are furious that they spent thousands and now their one perfect day is tarnished, that her mother-in-law wants a refund, that she might take legal steps, against me for photos I gave her for free. I hung up shaking, humiliated, gaslit, and that night, I opened my laptop and looked through every single shot I took, and that's when I saw it. What really made her panic? It wasn't me that ruined her wedding photos, it was what I accidentally caught on camera, and it was going to change everything. I couldn't sleep that night. I just kept scrolling through the photos one by one, trying to see what she saw. What exactly had I ruined? What had I done to make her sob to me like I'd set fire to her dress? Then, somewhere in the second card dump, file number 842, I saw it. It wasn't the lighting. It wasn't a weird angle. It wasn't anything I did. It was her. It was Olivia, in full color, perfectly focused, mid-conversation. Not with her husband, not with anyone from the bridal party, with Tyler, her ex, and not just talking. Her hand was on his chest, his fingers were brushing her hair back, her lips, God, her lips were barely an inch from his ear. It was an intimate moment, quiet, hidden behind the old stone wall of the venue's courtyard. The sun was just starting to set behind them. Golden hour. It was beautiful. It was damning. I didn't even remember taking it. Probably just snapped it while moving between the reception tent and the dance floor. I had a long lens on at that point. Nothing posed, just candid moments. That's what she asked for. Real stuff. Guess I got too real. There were more. A whole sequence, actually. Not kissing, but almost. Too close. Too soft. Too familiar. Like two people who didn't need to say anything out loud because they already knew the script. I sat there in my tiny apartment shaking, staring at the screen like it might blink and vanish. I checked the timestamps. These weren't from before the ceremony. These were taken after she said her vows, after the "I do," after the kiss, after the cheers and the confetti and the champagne toast. I backed them up to a separate folder just in case, and then it hit me. She wasn't blaming me because I ruined her wedding shots. She was trying to bury what I caught. Maybe her photographer had seen the sequence. Maybe Olivia got spooked. Maybe she panicked and thought if she blamed me, the shots would disappear. That no one would believe the unpaid cousin over the beautiful bride. Except now I knew, and I couldn't unknow it. I didn't call her back. I didn't reply to the messages that followed. "Can you delete those? I'm serious, Lex. This is a family matter. You don't want to do something you'll regret." Regret? Oh, honey, I was just getting started. 3 days later, I emailed the lead photographer, attached a zip folder. No commentary, no explanation, just the files and a single sentence. You should know what she's blaming me for. 30 minutes later, I got a reply. And that's when the cracks really started to show. The photographer, Erin, called me instead of replying to my email. Her voice was tense, clipped, like she'd just walked into a mess barefoot. I was wondering when you'd reach out, she said. That sentence alone told me everything. Apparently, Olivia had gone scorched earth behind the scenes. She'd threatened to sue Erin's company for breach of contract, accused the team of gross negligence for letting a non-professional ruin her day, and demanded a full refund. Erin hadn't seen the shots I'd taken until I sent them, because she wasn't the one who dealt directly with Olivia after the wedding. Her assistant handled the handoff, but now she had them, and she was pissed. "These are clean," she said. "You didn't interfere with our work. If anything, you caught what we missed." And then she said it. "I think your cousin's trying to cover up an affair." I didn't respond. I didn't need to. "She's been calling non-stop," Erin continued. "Said she wanted every backup file deleted, threatened to leave bad reviews, said we exposed her in a vulnerable moment." I didn't understand what she meant until I saw these. I could hear her clicking through the files in real time. "I'm guessing the guy in these photos isn't her husband?" "Nope," I said. "That's Tyler, high school ex. They were off and on until 2 years ago. He wasn't even supposed to be invited." Erin let out a low whistle. Jesus, it got worse. The next morning, I woke up to 20 missed calls. 7 from Olivia, the rest from blocked numbers or people I didn't recognize. Then came the texts. "You backstabber, do you know what you've done?" My in-laws saw the pictures. That one made my blood go cold. "They think I cheated. They're threatening to sue for fraud, Lexi. Actual F-King fraud. Because of you." Apparently, Tyler had left the reception early. No one thought much of it. He was a friend of the family, invited late. Not even on the original guest list, but someone, probably Olivia's mother-in-law, had seen the shots after Erin's company quietly slipped them into the preview gallery without warning. It was all still there, the hand on his chest, the lingering look, the intimacy. You didn't need a caption. The pictures spoke for themselves. By noon that day, Olivia's new husband had left their shared apartment. His family was livid. They'd funded most of the wedding and were now demanding answers and refunds. The last message I got from Olivia said, "You've destroyed everything. I hope you're happy." And for the first time in my life, I was. Because I didn't destroy anything. I just didn't lie for her. But the thing about narcissists, they don't go down quietly. That night, I got my first death threat, and it wasn't from her. It came from an Instagram account I didn't recognize. No profile picture, 0 posts, just a DM. "Watch your back, Snake. Olivia has people who actually care about her. You messed with the wrong family." Charming, right? I screenshotted it, blocked the account, and laughed it off at first. But then came more. Different burner accounts, different platforms. Someone doxed my business website, left a fake 1-star review saying I was unprofessional, manipulative, and emotionally unstable. Another posted one of my candid wedding shots with a caption that read, "Would you trust this homewrecker with your wedding?" It didn't take long to figure out who was behind it. Olivia's in-laws might have been furious, but her little sister, Rachel, was a whole other breed of feral. 25, never held a job, queen of family drama. She lived for chaos and Instagram beef, and I recognized her style. Passive-aggressive captions, emojis used like weapons, and a weird obsession with calling people unstable when they stood up for themselves. I didn't respond. I didn't post a rebuttal, but inside I was shaking. I'd never had people come after me like this. I kept telling myself I did the right thing. I didn't manipulate anything. I didn't edit anything. I literally just pressed the shutter button. Still, the anxiety kicked in hard. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I kept checking my site, my socials, my inbox, waiting for the next bomb to drop. Then it did. I got a letter, an actual letter, hand-delivered by courier, thick cream paper with a law firm's header at the top. Olivia's new in-laws were threatening legal action for intentional infliction of emotional distress and reputational damage. Reputational damage? From a photo I didn't pose? The letter was full of carefully worded nonsense, but the message was clear. I was being made the scapegoat for Olivia's crumbling marriage, and they wanted to scare me into silence. I took the letter straight to Erin. She'd already lawyered up. Apparently, Olivia had sent her a cease and desist too, for publishing private, unauthorized images. Except Erin's contract with Olivia had a clause. Anything captured at a public or contracted event became legally publishable unless explicitly restricted in writing. Olivia hadn't read the fine print. Erin's team was prepared to countersue if needed, and they were furious. "She tried to ruin your reputation and ours," Erin told me. "We're not rolling over." That was the first moment I felt like maybe, just maybe, I wasn't alone in this, and that's when I made my decision. If Olivia wanted to play games, fine. But she forgot one thing. I still had the full raw dump. Every second, every whisper, every moment she thought no one saw. Some of y'all said I should go nuclear. Tempting. But I wanted something cleaner. So I chose the one person Olivia was most terrified of disappointing, her groom's mother, and I sent her everything. Update 1. All right, y'all. I did not expect this to blow up like it did. I was just venting into the void. But your comments, the DMS, the people who found Olivia's wedding registry and added a spine to her wish list, I'm howling. But also, genuinely thank you. A bunch of you said I was too nice, that I should have gone scorched earth from the start. And maybe you're right, but it honestly took me reading some of your replies to realize I wasn't just angry, I was grieving for what I thought we had, for the family I thought she and I still were. So here's the update. I did send the raw files to her mother-in-law, Karen. Yes, that's really her name. Irony not lost on me. I attached a polite but direct note. Since Olivia has expressed concerns about what was captured during her wedding, I thought it only fair you see what's actually in question. No edits, no commentary. She replied within 3 hours. And let me tell you, that woman, ice cold. Thank you, Lexi, she wrote. This confirms what I suspected. I appreciate your professionalism. Rest assured, this will be handled. Next thing I know, Olivia's husband, now ex, apparently, posted a statement on his social media. Something like, sometimes you think you know someone. Grateful to the people who helped me see the truth before it was too late. He turned off comments. Smart man. But the best part? Aaron sent me a forwarded email 2 days later. Olivia tried to backtrack, claimed it was all a misunderstanding, that the angle of the photos made things look worse than they were. She begged them to take down the gallery. Karen's reply? The only thing that looks bad, Olivia, is your behavior. I've never loved a sentence more. Here's where it gets delicious. Apparently the in-laws did pay for 80% of the wedding, and now they're threatening to recoup costs. Their lawyer reached out to Olivia with a proposal: annulment, full return of gifts, and a public apology, or they proceed with civil litigation. Olivia's response? She showed up at my apartment. No warning, just 11 p.m. banging on my door in a silk robe and mascara tears, screaming about betrayal, calling me a snake, said I ruined her life over a couple blurry photos. I didn't even open the door, just yelled through it. They weren't blurry, Liv. That's the problem. She screamed, loud enough that a neighbor poked their head out and asked if I needed to call someone. Olivia ran off into the night like a bad movie villain. I haven't heard from her since, but I know she's not done. People like her, they never go quiet for long. I've got a folder now. It's labeled Olivia, just in case. Screenshots, messages, legal docs, the works. Because if she comes for me again, I'm not just taking the gloves off, I'm bringing the receipts. The morning after her midnight meltdown at my door, I found lipstick smeared on my welcome mat. Deadass. Ruby red. The exact shade she wore at the wedding. A twisted little reminder. I left it there. Took a photo, just in case. The silence was eerie. A whole 48 hours with no texts, no burner DMs, no flying monkeys in my inbox. I thought maybe she'd finally crawled back into whatever glittery chaos hole she came from. But nah, that was just the eye of the storm. Because then I got the message from her husband. Well, ex-husband now. His name's Daniel. I barely knew him before the wedding. We spoke maybe twice. He was always polite, but kinda had that stiff, rich boy energy. Clean cut, MBA, smile. The kind of guy who shakes your hand like he's interviewing you. His message was short. Can we talk? I think I owe you some thanks. We met at a coffee shop. He showed up looking like he hadn't slept in a week. Wedding band already gone. Lexi, he said, and his voice cracked. I saw the raw files. God, I would have married her. I didn't know what to say to that. I just sat across from him while he pulled out his phone and showed me something. A photo from their honeymoon suite. Not of Olivia and him. Of Olivia, alone, in a mirror, wearing the groom's shirt, except she'd scribbled something in lipstick across the glass. Should have been you, T. Tyler. He found it when he got back from picking up takeout their first night in Bali. She swore it was a joke. Just a funny thing I did for Instagram, she said. Didn't think you'd see it. And he believed her. For 2 days, until the pictures I sent Karen landed in his inbox. Daniel leaned back in his chair and exhaled so slow it sounded like a confession. She told me you were jealous of her, he said. That you were obsessed with ruining her moment. I laughed. I couldn't help it. It was bitter and ugly and real. She told me I was family, I said. And family protects each other, he nodded. She said the same thing to me, right before she kissed Tyler at our rehearsal dinner. My stomach dropped. He hadn't told anyone that, not even Karen. But I guess seeing the photos, the proof, broke something open. He told me the whole thing, how Tyler was staying at the same hotel, how Olivia arranged it by accident, how she snuck off for closure, how he caught them in the hallway, hands touching, lips too close, And still, he married her because he thought she was nervous, because she cried, because she said she loved him and needed to get it out of her system. She said the pictures would ruin her, he whispered. But the truth is, she ruined herself long before you pressed that button. Before we parted, he reached into his coat pocket and handed me something. A torn wedding photo. The edge burned slightly. Olivia was laughing in it, veil blowing back, unaware. I don't want this, he said. But I think you'll know what to do with it. And I did. I took that photo home, set it on my kitchen table, and just stared. Her face, so lit up, so full of that fake joy she wears like foundation. It was from the recessional, right after the ceremony. Everyone was clapping. I'd snapped it from the aisle, not thinking, just doing my job. But now, all I could see was the rot behind the smile. I lit a candle, not for some dramatic Instagram ritual, just for the smell. Vanilla and sandalwood, calming. Then I took a lighter, touched the flame to the bottom corner of the photo, and watched her face curl and blacken. When it reached her smile, I dropped it into the sink and let it sizzle out. No ashes, no shrine, just smoke. And then the real revenge began. See, Olivia had spent weeks spinning her web. She'd blamed me to the photographer, to the in-laws, to her own husband. She'd tried to gaslight me out of the truth. But she forgot something critical. I have an audience. I posted a video to my photography page. Just me, talking directly to the camera. No names, no accusations. Just this. To every artist who's ever been blamed for someone else's mess, this is for you. I was hired by a family member to shoot candids at her wedding. I did. I captured everything she asked for, including one moment she didn't want anyone to see. That moment ended a marriage. And instead of taking responsibility, she tried to destroy my career. But I have the truth. And the truth is sharp. It doesn't care about your status, your filters, or your perfect little narrative. It just is. I'm not deleting the files. I'm not apologizing. And I'm not afraid of you. It got shared. People started DMing me stories. Other photographers who'd been stiffed by brides, accused of ruining things they had nothing to do with. Clients who'd turned abusive when reality didn't match the Pinterest board. And then someone leaked Olivia's side of the story, a screenshot from her group chat. She was ranting, calling me a vindictive little camera gremlin, saying I'd snuck into her moment and manipulated shadows to make her look guilty. Actual quote. That's when things really exploded, because the wedding industry? Small, tight-knit, and petty. A bridal stylist I know reshared the video and tagged it, "Weddings are for honesty, not cover-ups." A florist dropped a TikTok using my voiceover with a montage of wilted roses and ripped veils. Someone even made a meme with her burnt wedding photo and the caption, "The tea got hotter than the venue." Meanwhile, Olivia's being dragged on local forums. Not by me, by guests who were at the wedding and saw her sneak off. One of the groomsmen posted, "I thought I saw her with Tyler. Guess I wasn't crazy." Her narrative was unraveling, and she was losing her mind. Which leads me to the second update, because last night, she broke into Aaron's studio. Update 2. Alright, I thought the drama had peaked. I really did. But nope, Olivia went full Lifetime movie. Last night around 2:30 a.m., I get a panicked call from Aaron, the lead photographer. Her voice is shaking. She's whispering because she's standing outside her studio, on the phone with the cops. Olivia broke in. Apparently, she somehow got a key. We're guessing it was from her original walkthrough appointment months ago, back when she was still charming, still pretending to be a normal human being. Aaron thinks she had a copy made. Who the hell does that? She let herself in, disabled the outer alarm somehow, YouTube probably, but didn't know about the silent motion detector inside. Aaron got the alert within 5 minutes and hauled ass over. She found the front door ajar and Olivia inside, frantically clicking through a computer, trying to delete files. Files that were no longer even stored locally. Aaron uses a cloud system with triple backups and time-stamped storage logs. There was literally no way Olivia could have erased anything, but she tried. Wild-eyed, mascara-streaked, screaming at the screen. When Aaron stepped inside, Olivia threw a lamp at her, missed by inches. That's when the cops showed up. Aaron had already called them from her car. Olivia tried to bolt out the back, but get this. She tripped over a backdrop stand and face-planted into a pile of faux flowers. The officers tackled her mid-floral freakout. I've seen the security footage. Aaron sent it to me. Y'all. Olivia, in her pajamas and wedding slippers, screaming, "You don't know what she's done to me," as they cuff her over a pile of peonies. Apparently, she kept repeating, "It was mine. It was my day," over and over, like some broken wind-up bride. She's being charged with breaking and entering, attempted destruction of property, and assault with a decorative object. They let her out on bail this morning, and guess what her first move was? She posted a reel. A reel. It's a black screen with sad piano music and a caption that says, "When the people closest to you betray your most sacred moments." The comments are roasting her. People aren't buying it anymore. Someone replied, Girl, you broke into a photography studio with a USB stick like this is CSI, Napa Valley. Honestly, I don't even feel angry anymore. I feel weirdly sad. Not for her. She did this to herself. But for the version of me that used to believe she was good, that she could be good. That part's gone now. And so is she in every way that matters. Me? I'm moving forward. Booked 2 new clients this week. Erin and I are working on a joint project. Something raw, something real. She wants to call it the shots they didn't want. I think I'm finally free. But I'm keeping the burned wedding photo, just in case I ever need a reminder. The truth doesn't need to shout. It just waits. A week later, the studio footage leaked. Not by me, not by Erin. Honestly, we still don't know who did it. Probably someone on the studio's IT team. Or maybe one of the cops who took a peek at the security logs and couldn't help themselves. All I know is that suddenly, there it was on TikTok. Olivia, in her ivory silk pajama set and matching satin slippers, crawling across the floor of Erin's studio like a deranged raccoon, whispering, "Delete, delete, delete," while trying to yank a hard drive out of a locked cabinet. The internet devoured it. People stitched the video with her sacred betrayal reel. They made edits, parodies. One person reenacted it with a Barbie doll and a shoebox studio. Another used it as a promo for a fictional true crime podcast called Bride Gone Rogue. It hit 500,000 views in 2 days. That should have been the final nail, right? The viral humiliation, the public exposure, the reality check she couldn't ignore. Nope. Instead, Olivia leaned in. She hired a crisis PR rep, started dropping buzzwords like post-wedding trauma and media harassment, told a podcast, some bargain bin, MLM-adjacent lifestyle show, that she had suffered a public psychological collapse triggered by unresolved grief around the expectations of female perfection. I mean, she said it well. She's always been good with words. And for about 5 minutes, people actually bought it. They called me invasive, accused me of exploiting her pain, said photographers should know better than to document someone's lowest moment. But then a Reddit thread surfaced. Screenshots of Olivia's private messages to another vendor from before the wedding, talking about Tyler, about how she was still not over him and might just need one more night to really let go. So much for unresolved trauma. The comments turned again. People don't like being manipulated, especially not by someone who made her own bridal destruction look like a wellness brand. And through all of this, through the noise and the edits and the angry DMs, I kept working. Because even though Olivia was burning every bridge she could, I was finally building something. One of my new clients found me because of the video. She said she wanted someone who wasn't afraid to shoot the messy stuff. Another hired me specifically for her elopement. Candid, honest, and no bullshit, she wrote. Like your post said, I stopped checking Olivia's socials, blocked every burner I could find, unfollowed mutuals. I didn't need the updates anymore. I'd seen enough. But then, late one night, I opened a message from someone I didn't recognize. It was just a photo of Olivia at a bar, alone, makeup streaked, phone face down, no filter, no pose. She looked small. The caption read, "Sometimes they break themselves trying to break you." I didn't respond. I just stared for a long time, and then I opened my Lightroom app and deleted every photo I ever took of her. I thought I'd feel triumphant, victorious, cleansed. But watching that little progress bar crawl across the screen, 289 files deleted, 324, 376, all I felt was tired. Not sad, not guilty, just heavy. I'd spent weeks haunted by Olivia's wedding, not because of what happened, but because of what it meant. The years of letting her take up space in my life unchecked. The way I shrunk to make room for her ego. The things I excused because that's just how she is. Deleting the photos wasn't revenge. It was closure. No backups, no cloud syncs. I nuked them completely. I figured that was the end. But karma has a funny way of looping back around, quietly, without fireworks. It was 2 weeks later when I got the email. Subject line, "Recollaboration Opportunity." It was from a wedding magazine. A big one. The kind you see in Barnes and Noble and think, God, I'll never get published in that. Turns out, someone from their editorial team saw my "Truth Doesn't Shout" video, loved the tone, said they were looking for photographers who captured weddings with emotional honesty. They asked if I'd be open to contributing a piece. Not just photos, words, a behind-the-lens essay about what it means to tell the truth, even when people don't want to see it. I almost cried. I said yes, obviously. Pitched a piece called The Uninvited Guest, Honesty Behind the Lens. It's going to print this fall, and guess what photo they're using for the feature? Not Olivia. It's a shot I took last month. A bride and her grandma, forehead to forehead, both crying happy tears. The grandma's hands are wrinkled and shaking. The bride's veil is slightly crooked. The lighting's imperfect. It's real, and it's beautiful. That's the kind of story I want to tell now. Olivia? She faded. Deleted her accounts, moved back in with her mom, last I heard. Tyler's ghosted again. Daniel's doing okay. He emailed me to say he read my piece and finally understood why I sent the files. He thanked me. Not everyone's meant to stay in your life. Some people are meant to teach you where your boundaries are. And some people are meant to burn. I don't regret any of it, because the camera doesn't lie. And now, neither do I.